the instructions, and we will make a show. Fresh baked.
Fresh baked show for you. Hi, chat room. I think we're coming up. It should be kicking up in just a second if it catches up. Come on, dashboard. There it is. I see us.
Yeah, there I see it.
Hi, guys.
Yes.
How are we tonight? Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Nicole Du Cane to the show. Well, we're not doing the show yet, but you know, but chat room, say hi to Nicole.
Welcome to the chat room.
Hello, chat. How are you? It's good to see you.
We're so excited, you guys. No, it's just so excited. Can you see the chat too, Nicole? Can you see them?
I can. Yes,
awesome.
I have it up.
Awesome. See, I love Twitch streamers because they know how this thing works.
Oh yeah.
How does this work?
How does this newfangled streaming thing work?
I don't even know.
We had someone come into our stream last night who apparently had never used Twitch before.
Wow.
But they were very intrigued by the concept of it, and I was impressed that they were there.
How did they find it?
I have no idea, but they created an account, and yes, they were new.
It's so funny when, so both of my parents will not be here tonight because my dad has stuff going on, but he texted me and he said, I'm not going to be here tonight. But both of our parents in the time frame that we've been doing the show for the past 5 years have learned how to use Twitch. And,
so cool.
It's so funny because and my dad, bless his heart, does not quite understand how the Twitch app works all the time. Like he thinks that if he just has to bookmark something and he just goes straight there. And I'm like, well, if we're not live, you're not going to see us. And he's like, but I can't find you. Where are you? And I'm like, Dad, I'm not on yet.
Yeah, it's like, well, it's like wanting to watch your favorite TV show, but if the show's not on the channel, then you're not going to see it. So,
gosh, remember those days?
Stay tuned for the same bat time, same bat channel next week.
Next week. Oh, I got to tweet the deets. I forgot.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot. Let's do that thing with the stuff. Oh, come on. I don't want to add a column. I just want to tweet. Live. Twitch.tv/Tauren Think Tank. How are you guys doing tonight, chat room? I see Bim. I see Colin. I see Draven. Why is my thing?
I see Solo Mio. He says hi. How you
Solo
doing?
Mio. How are you? Oh.
It's Solo Mio.
Beautiful voice.
Mark Honan has the distinct talent of being able to do voices, like game voices, celebrity voices.
So you don't even need a soundtrack. I mean, you don't even need a soundtrack.
I don't need a sound.
You don't need music.
Well, and sometimes I'll go on my own little tangents. Like last week, I forgot what I even said, but what was I talking about?
Y'all, we were doing something Southern. We were totally Southern.
Something Southern, and and I live in Little Rock, so I'm born and raised Arkansan, so I am in it. I'm soaked in Southern culture, but I dipped down into the drawl and everything, and talked about something. I don't even remember what we were talking about.
Well, then everything got punctuated with y'all.
It did.
Your voice, your fantastic Mr. Radio voice.
He does have a radio voice.
Yeah, I was at work a couple of weeks ago, and I was helping. I was doing some installation work, and the lady was like, "You have a really good voice. Have you ever thought about doing something like that?" And I was like, "In fact, actually, ma'am, my bachelor's is in broadcast journalism. So yes, I have heard that before. Thank you so much. Because I just and doing this show doesn't help because it does help in that sense because I get to pay attention more and I get to use the skills I have here at work and then my skills that I develop at work here. So
it's pretty cool. It is really cool. I mean, the radio voice thing, people pick up on it when you're doing stuff like that. I've had that happen to me, where I was training somebody and they go, you have this really cool voice, and I'm like, do you do stuff on the radio? And I said, well, kind of, yeah. That's my job. That's what I do.
Yeah, because I have to do 48-hour pre-calls for whatever jobs we have that day.
Yeah.
And so I have to call our clients and some guys are like, hey, this is John. We're gonna do this and this. We'll see you then. It's really flat, and I turn on the Southern charm like, hi, this is Mark Conan from, and we're gonna see you. How are you today, sir? It's like, And because sometimes I'll call and I'm like, hi Mr. Smith, and he's like, who's this?
Who's this?
Hey, I'm here. We're talking about our appointment on Friday. How are you today, sir? And he's like, oh, I'm good. How are you doing? It's like a switch of a flip of a switch. They're like, is this about the tax? Is this about my front yard? What is this about?
Is this about my front yard?
Are you with the county? So I done scared off 2 of your boys already. Who is this? And then they're like, oh, hi. So you have to turn on the charm a little bit to make their day better.
Oh my goodness. All right, chat rooms, before we go live and let you guys know, just tell you, next week there is no show because I'm in California. So you get the night off, Marconin.
California.
I'm gonna be right by BlizzCon. I'm gonna be staying at the Hilton, doing this thing at the Marriott. The convention center is gonna be right there, and it's just gonna be this weird, surreal thing. So
you're like, where is everyone in cosplay?
Where are all the nerds?
Well, where are my people? Where are they?
Because these people are going to be very nice, but they're not my people. They're not my people. So
I see Spike off in the distance on my camera.
Oh, there he is. Yep. Garrus is up on the tree too. I don't know if you can see him.
Oh, I can't see him.
Yeah,
I don't know. Garrus sniffing.
Spike is probably about to go up on the futon. He's a big boy. He is, and he's lost some weight, but he's still a big boy. It's a big kitty.
Oh, but look at him. He can still jump, I can still have it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's a good boy, but man, that cat, I weighed him the other day. So I weighed him by getting on the scale, holding him, and then weighing myself. He's 21 pounds.
Woo.
He's a big boy. And he's lost weight.
That is a big kitty. But I'm glad he lost weight though.
Yeah,
he's on the ottoman.
You can see him, can't you? Hi, buddy. Yep. He looks like a big. Chat room can't see him. He looks like a big loaf. He's just a big loaf on the ottoman. Oh, all right. Chat room, we're gonna test your readiness. Are you guys ready to roll? This way I test my soundboard too.
I like it.
Is my soundboard working? Yeah.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Press 1 for fun. There it is. You guys ready for pull?
1 for fun.
You guys ready for pull? Come on now. Come on now.
Make sure my phone is not going to ring.
Time for fun. Yes.
Good.
Yes. So
Here we go.
Are we going to get Coach coming in to kind of visit you as well?
God, that's a good question. I was just thinking about Coach. I don't know where Coach Chubb is. I hope he makes an appearance later.
I hope so.
How much he loves coaching.
Firsthand. I do. He's the sweetest kitty in the world. And also Nicole will be right at home here. He's a big boy. He's such a sweet, sweet kitty though. Like I just love that cat. So
he just loves to be around people, and he loves whenever we do the workout breaks. Yes. He just wants to be there.
Yes.
Because he gets pet. I don't know.
Because you're like, hey, I'm on the floor. You're on the floor. I'm on the floor. This is a good thing. That's what mine seem to like too.
Yeah.
All right, chat room is ready. Mark Honan, are you ready?
Oh, yep, I'm ready. Good to go.
Nicole, are you ready to roll?
Getting all stretched.
Always ready.
All right. Let's see. What episode number are we? 241. All right.
It's a good song by Real Big Fish.
241?
241, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
man.
Random knowledge.
Random knowledge, Mark Honan bombs.
Yeah. Track 7 on that album.
Damn, dude. That's awesome. Okay.
Well, they're one of my favorite bands, so I have to know these things.
Mm-hmm. All right, folks. Episode 241 of Tauren Think Tank records in 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to Tauren Think Tank, the podcast about the Blizzard gamer behind the keyboard.
It's episode 241 of Tauren Think Tank. Today is Thursday, August 17th of 2017. Where the heck is this month going, people? Because I have no idea. My name is Jules, as always with me is the illustrious recovering Marconin. Hi, Marconin.
Good evening.
You've got the this little bit of sinus stroll going on tonight.
Yeah, pretty much since ever since last Friday, I've had some kind of sinus headache, cough, cold. I don't know what it is, but it's sapped my energy for most of the last week. But I think I've crested the hill and I'm coasting back to wellness, which is good because I have a trip this weekend. So I have to get better by Saturday. So I'm keeping myself medicated and drinking lots of water, lots of vitamin C, trying to stay, make sure I'm on the up and up, doing everything I can. So luckily I'm feeling better and feeling good enough to be here tonight because I'm excited about our guest.
I am so excited for our guest tonight. Our guest tonight comes to us from the Twitch channel Heroes of Fitness. Nicole Du Cane is a lifelong gamer and huge nerd. She is the co-founder of Heroes of Fitness with her husband, Tim Spencer, and together, Nicole and Tim make exercise more accessible for gamers through their popular Heroes of Fitness Twitch channel, where they stream games and take regular workout breaks that viewers can follow along with. Nicole is the COO of Dragon Door Publications, a Twitch partner, personal trainer, and RKC, which is Russian Kettlebell Certified Trainer Instructor. I learned this the other day. Please welcome Nicole to the show. Hi, Nicole.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me here.
It's been... I've been waiting for this for so long. You have no idea.
Well, I'm honored to be here. I'm so excited because Jules, you and I, of course, know each other outside of the streaming gaming world. And,
yeah.
Just thank you.
You're welcome.
I just have to say, I know we're going to get into the topic and the listener email, but I'm really excited to dig into this because I think a lot of people are going to really resonate with them and have probably experienced a lot of the same things that this woman has experienced too.
Exactly. And,
Absolutely.
I had been looking for a reason to have Nicole on the show for quite some time. And then this email came up. And full disclosure, Nicole is also part of the personal training team, Heroes of Fitness, that is training me. So she is my personal trainer as well. So I work very closely with her and Tim, her husband. Mm-hmm. But she is here to pass on knowledge regarding health, fitness, weight loss, specifically tuned to gamers, which is what I wanted to start out by asking you, because you have a very specific kind of focus when you talk about Heroes of Fitness. How did you guys come to getting that started?
That's a great question. So a little bit about my background is I guess grew up kind of in the health and fitness industry. I was originally a dancer. I was with a ballet company, a martial artist, so I came from a very active family. But my father actually started Dragon Door Publications, which is a health and fitness publishing company. And we were the ones that brought kettlebells to the United States, started manufacturing them, certifying personal trainers. So I grew up in the family business, worked in it. I, of course, still do. That's how I met Tim. Tim and I actually met at one of the kettlebell certifications in San Diego. And so for Tim and I, of course, we're both into being active, taking care of our bodies, helping other people. But we were both huge nerds, gamers since we were little. I have a younger brother. He and I grew up gaming. Tim has 3 older brothers. Of course, they got him into games, as far back as like Atari.
Yeah.
So we love to work together. We work really well together, which is not always the case for all married couples. And so we wanted to start a business, and it seemed like a natural fit because we're gamers, and that's a population that in particular can really benefit from health and fitness education, support,
yes,
all of the resources. And to do that, you have to go where they are. And so that's kind of how Tim and I got onto Twitch. Of course, there was YouTube. There's a lot of, so many YouTube videos. And there's a lot of people out there who already are geared towards gamers for health and fitness purposes. But for us, it was like, well, what's kind of the biggest issues that gamers face?
Yep.
Or really, when it comes down to it, everyone in modern society, we all sit a lot. You sit at work, you sit when you're driving in the car, you sit to play games, to watch Netflix, whatever it is, we're sitting a lot. So it's so important to get up to move. I think everyone's probably seen a million articles on the internet about how sitting is the new smoking, etc.
Yes.
So for us, it seemed like, well, why don't we show people a way to incorporate workout breaks into their gaming? Even if it's just standing up and moving around, doing a stretch, doing a single squat, a single push-up, whatever it is, just finding a way to just move a little bit.
Yep.
Just like get into it, because I think a lot of gamers, and a lot of people in general who maybe haven't had a big athletic background, are intimidated by going to the gym. They're intimidated by people who are really fit. And this goes for men and women. So finding something that's approachable that they can do at home, where they don't feel like anyone's watching them or judging them. So it kind of was this, I don't know, this perfect fit of, we stumbled across Twitch because of other gamers and streamers that we followed, and we decided to start our own channel, and then it kind of just, it went from there. But since we started Heroes of Fitness, our Twitch channel, it has always been incorporating workout breaks.
Yeah.
And then more recently, we started doing cooking streams and other stuff like that. But
I love
it's been amazing.
I love what you guys have done with that whole concept of making this holistic approach, because it started with workout breaks during the gaming, and then it became even more than that. When did you start offering personal training services as part of Heroes of Fitness?
Well, so ironically, we actually founded the company in 2010.
Okay.
But it was only, and we had kind of other ideas for how we wanted to gear it towards gamers, like creating other programs and apps. And then once we kind of got into Twitch and that really became our main thing, we shifted. We've, had, of course, clients outside of Heroes of Fitness. We've worked with so many different types of people over the years. But it was, I would say, once we kind of started building our footing and kind of started building our base and started hearing from the community, because I think that's such a big part of Twitch and gamers in general. It's like you want to find your community of people. And so we listened to what people wanted. They wanted more from us. They wanted training services, which we can do online, which is possible now with the internet. We can train people who live in other countries and other states. And then people wanted the cooking streams, so we started doing those. And then we found out that by the Twitch community chat, along with our Discord server, having this community of people is what is some of the biggest impact, because you've got other people supporting each other. So it's not just us. It's like it's grown beyond us. And I know, Jules, you've seen this too.
Yep. Where
it's the power of all these people supporting each other in a positive, safe, supportive space where they can learn and grow and fail and succeed. And I think that's, for us, what's been so special and helped us manage all the people we're trying to help.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. And can you talk a little bit about any of the success stories that you've seen through Heroes of Fitness, people who have who've come to you and said, "You changed my life"?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's all the time that we get people, whether it's maybe the first or second time that they've ever popped into chat, and they will tell us, "I couldn't do a single pull-up, and now I can do 10. That was someone who told us that, I want to say, a couple months ago. Wow. Or people who come in and say, I followed you guys for a couple months, and I've already lost 15 pounds. And for us, it's so funny. Tim and I will talk about it, how we can't make people do anything. Like, we're just sitting here. We're the ones working out.
Yeah.
We're the ones playing a game. We can't force them. We're not, like, working with them like we would with a client in a gym. So the fact that they actually went and did something, whether it was a walk, whether it was they got a gym membership or they went for a run, whatever it is, they did that. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's what's been so mind-blowing to us, is that, like, yes, of course, we motivated them, or we gave them some ideas for what they could do. And some people actually follow along with the workouts that we do on stream, which is great too. I mean, that's what we try to do. We try to make them so that people can follow along with us. But ultimately, like, it's on them. If they want to do it, they can. And I mean, from weight loss to people being able to do push-ups, and they couldn't do a push-up before, or they couldn't do a pull-up, and now they can do 5 to 10, which that is a huge accomplishment.
Yes.
Absolutely, yeah.
Weight, like they have strength goals, they've been skinny all their life, and they want to get bigger arms or just feel stronger and more confident. And I think we get those comments all the time and those are just people from the chat. Those aren't even the clients that we work with one-on-one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It is what I found is really amazing about the community that you guys have is that, number one, the folks that are there are incredibly supportive of each other, as you mentioned earlier, because we all kind of come from the same base. We understand what our struggles are. Marconin and I will have the same. We'll have the same things that we discuss when it talks about food, when it talks about exercise. Both of us we've said this before on the show. We've always grown up overweight, and we know so many of our friends who are just the same as we are, and so it's intimidating to think about it, but when you think about trying to integrate fitness into gaming, but watching you guys do what you do, and you guys got to check them out on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/heroes of fitness, because it's not just you have to go out and buy 15 kettlebells and learn how to use them. You can do jumping jacks, or you can do things like that are like along with the stream, and every little bit helps. Yeah,
and that's something that we really try to do. Of course, we do some more advanced stuff, but we try to mix it up because not everyone has equipment, not everybody has a lot of space, and the goal for us is to just give people ideas of what they could do at home, because you don't have to go to a gym if you don't want to.
Yeah, and that I think is I think Marcona and I have shared the same thing. The gym can be really intimidating beyond using like a treadmill or an elliptical, right?
Yeah, and I've experienced this because I have a Planet Fitness membership, and I even met with the trainer on staff, and she gave me the things to work on my stuff. But I get through my half-hour cardio, I get through all the machines, and then I get to the free weights, and I feel very intimidated by the weights, and I'm like that. It's kind of like how I'm only afraid of heights if it's like if it's unstructured. Like if I'm outside on a building ledge, I'm afraid of heights. But if I'm on a plane, I'm not. So if I'm around a machine, like I'm like, okay, cool, I can't really screw this up too bad. But in the weights, I'm like out in the open, in front of God and country, and people who might think me embarrassed. I get embarrassed, and then I just don't do it, and I just like, I'll just go get on the thing, and I end up not doing my entire workout, and it bums me out, and it makes me, it's like the snowball going down the hill, and it just gets bigger and bigger, and I don't go do it anymore, and then it fails. So
right. And that's so common. Like most people are like that. And even people who you might look at and think like, wow, they're really in shape, they know what they're doing, they can feel that way too. Like we all can do that. The irony is that you think everyone is looking at you and judging you, but really they're thinking the same thing. I mean, of course, you might have like some people who like they are really confident, or they don't care, or like they're going to do whatever they want to do. But ultimately, it's usually ourselves who we are our hardest critics.
Yeah.
But a lot of gyms, I think people will be surprised how willing to help people there are. Like people, obviously there'll be some people who can be like domineering and maybe like a little bit too like know-it-all or not helpful. That's, you're going to find that everywhere. But there's a lot of people in any gym that you go to where they want to help and they're happy to if you just like ask them. But I think for a lot of people, just going to the gym period is one of the biggest hurdles.
Yes.
A lot of people say, I want to be fit enough, or I want to drop weight to go to the gym, or to go to this dance class, or to do this. So it's almost like there's this barrier of, I have to be fit enough to even go there, even though going there is what is going to help you get to the goal.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I still struggle with the comfort of doing weightlifting and things outside of my home. And so, I'm using the gym right now for cardio, which feels comfortable, and I don't have to worry about people judging or looking or whatever it is. And then I do what I have, because I don't want I call it gym shyness. You know, I don't want that distracting me from what I want to accomplish. And so, but I think that a lot of us even don't even think about, like, for me, I think the biggest thing for me has always been, there is so much information out there in the world to tell you how to get fit and how to lose weight. And it's all different. And, you know, so it becomes so much noise that, that it is insane. Like, people just kind of go, well, I don't know what to do.
Right. So it's analysis paralysis, where there's too much information to do nothing. But at the same time, when you really boil it down, most people know what to do. Like, if you get to the bare bone foundation, is most people know, like, if I eat a little better, if I don't eat, you know, this junk food every single day, and if I move a little bit more, even if I go for walks, and maybe if I don't eat or, you know, drink a bunch of pop, like, they know that those things are what they need to do. And yet they will always keep looking for, well, what's this fad diet, or what's the perfect workout? What is the one thing that I'm supposed to do? There's only one. There can only be one thing that has to be perfect and work. And so they do that, and then that's where you're kind of setting yourself up to fail.
Well, and basically it's burn more calories than you bring in. Right. As far as weight loss goes. I mean, I know it's that simple, and I fail at it more times than not, but that's the basics. I mean, if people, you know, if you think of it that way, of like, well, I can go move a little bit, but it's the, you know, especially for gamers, where, you know, I'll be honest. I mean, man, when an expansion hits, I don't move from this chair for 2 or 3 days, other than to go to bed, and go to the bathroom, you know, or get food. And that's because I'm so engrossed in what's going on, or I really want to play, and just getting the motivation to get up is such a task. But and one thing that I found, one thing that I really like is I play Pokemon Go a lot. And I actually go to downtown Little Rock and walk around and get out in this god awful heat, and go around and drink water, and it helps. And, you know, and that's the thing, is when you get started with things like this, your endorphin levels go up, because people don't sometimes remember that when you work out, your endorphins kick in. Same thing as if you eat a really, really nice meal. You know, it's your body giving you that encouragement, like, hey, you're doing something good. Here's some good hormones. You know, and it's that, you know, not like a runner's high, but after you work out, you do feel better. And it's getting into the habit of having that be the reward, the workout reward, as opposed to just the food reward or just the gaming reward. Incorporating that reward into your days and your routine. That's the hardest part for me, is routine. Incorporating is putting it in a routine. It's the hardest thing.
It's, you know, the habits.
Exactly. You know, and you've just gotta, you know, when you start out with that, you've got to just drill it into yourself and make sure it's part of your routine, and then eventually it becomes your routine, and you don't think about it. And that's the hardest part for me, is putting it in my routine, because the nature of my job, I don't know when I get off work. I can get off at noon, I can not go in that day, or I could work till 9 o'clock at night. It's good that I have a 24-hour gym, which is the thing now, which is awesome. But at the end of a long day, I don't want to work out. I just want to go home, have some food, and go to bed. But having the discipline to do that is I think the hardest part, what a lot of people struggle with. Because they get those one little defeats here or there by being in the gym, and then they're just like, I don't want to mess with it. It's too much trouble.
Well, and I think you got back to what you were saying about routine and habits and the discipline. A lot of times people try to go like balls to the wall. They try to do like, I'm going to eat super clean. I'm not going to drink any alcohol. I'm not going to have any carbs. I'm going to work out like 5 days a week. Or maybe they're even like, I'm going to work out 3 days a week, like hardcore workouts that I haven't done in years. And so they go really hard. And then they can't sustain it. So then they fail, and then they feel bad, and then they fall back down into the hole that they were in, instead of starting really small. Like literally, you have an extra glass of water today. For 2 weeks. That's your goal. You try to walk for 10 minutes every day. Or, like whatever it is, you do one push-up every day. Like as small, as easy as it can be. You have to start there so that you actually are building the habits, and then you're getting those small wins that then leads to success, because then you feel like, hey, I did that. I can do more. And then you do that, and you do a little bit more, and then gradually that's kind of how you're going to actually see the long-term success. Because Tim and my philosophy is, like, there's a million ways that you can, of course you can cut weight or bulk, whatever your goal is, you can do it in a short amount of time. But when it comes down to it, what's your long-term goals? Do you want to keep that weight off, or do you want to rebound it right back on?
Right.
So it all comes back down to lifestyle and to habits and lifestyles of gamers. So the interesting thing, what you're talking about how new expansion comes out. So Tim, has the story. This was well before we met. So he was really scrawny. He's 6'6" and he's like 230 pounds. So for him, like, if he's not doing anything, he gets really, really skinny. It's harder for him to put on muscle mass. So he talks about when he went on like the Counter-Strike diet, or when he was playing WoW, like, for a year straight, like that's all he was doing. And that actually kind of got him into fitness, because he was like, I'm not taking care of my body. Like, this is all I'm doing. Finding the balance of like, how do you take care of your body and still do the things that you love?
Yes. And I'll speak from personal experience. Nicole and Tim's philosophy about building habits and going slow is it works. it does work, but it feels like you have freaking training wheels on that are locked. Especially when you're someone like me who's I push myself really, really hard. And what we do when we have that moment of motivation to say, I'm going to make these changes, is exactly what Nicole said, which is you go and you say, I'm making all the changes right now. And then you inevitably wind up burning out and falling.
Yeah.
And so when they introduced me to their plan and what I'm working with right now, and I'm like, that's it right now? And, and it's ramping up. But in the beginning, I'm like, you don't expect me to like go buy like 10 pounds of spinach and go into
You're gonna eat
and the only thing I can eat is quinoa.
Kale.
I mean, come on.
Yeah. Kale and quinoa for 2 weeks.
For every meal, for like every day.
Like I was told during my initial when I told that story on the show about how I'd gone to see a personal trainer at the gym that I signed up, and it was like 16 items on a menu, and it's like, this is not how you live. And
right. Because what happens when you're in a social situation? What happens when you're at a convention, when you're at a wedding, when you're at a party, and you want to share those moments? Why would you deprive yourself of that?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, then you only get obsessed with food. So, like, I mean, there's times, and Tim and I, we've been there, we've had clients where it's like, yeah, there's times when you get restrictive if you're cutting for like a serious goal for competition or whatever it is. But like, for day-to-day life, and for most people, you do not need to only eat 16 foods.
Yeah.
Like,
thank goodness.
Like, why live that way? You don't have to.
You shouldn't, and nobody does.
Yeah, I mean, at bare bones, food is fuel.
Right.
That's all it is. But we are also very sensory beings, and we do take pleasure out of food because it's a pleasurable thing. It's what gives us that dopamine hit in our brains. And so you can treat food, and so there's times where I treat food as just fuel, okay, I'm gonna eat just this, my food. It may not be the best tasting thing, but it's fuel. But then there's other times, like at conventions, we go to Red Robin, and I really want the burger with a fried egg on it because I want it, and that's the cheat. That's the breaking of where it's not just fuel. It's enjoyment. It's that social setting, like you said.
Yeah.
And it's not every meal has to be that awesome cheat meal that tastes so good. That's where I I'll eat a healthy meal, but then I'm like, oh man, I could really use a bag of Cheetos right now because I love Cheetos. Oh man. Yes, I have orange fingers. I don't care. They're tasty. Tasty orange fingers. And that's a habit I gotta rein in too. That's something on my end I really gotta fix.
Well, orange fingers, I think we're going to get into the question of the day, because I think that this is going to integrate really well where we are right now. So I'm going to play this sounder, and then we're going to read this very long letter. I apologize in advance. This is a really long letter, but here we go.
Tauren between options? Let Triple T help you sort it out.
It's Think Tank time! And like I said, really long letter, so buckle in, you guys, but this has really good information. Nicole is already familiar with this letter and has prepared herself for it. So here we go. I'm a female in my early 30s. I've been 63 to 65 kilos, that's 138 or 143 pounds, since high school, and I've managed to keep that weight for a long time. I graduated in 2002, and I'm 5'7". About 5 years ago, I decided to address one of the illnesses I had since childhood. To do so, I had to come off of the medication I was on, which addressed hormones with an ongoing issue, to take the new medication for this childhood illness. As I came off of the hormone control medication, I started to put on weight. Little by little, I've put on 30 to 35 kilos, which is about 60 to 75 pounds. I'm back on hormone control meds, but it's a slow process. I've not lost any weight. If anything, I'm still gaining. I never thought I'd be here, struggling with weight. My back and my knees hurt. I'm getting sleep apnea, chafing, sweating. I've changed my wardrobe to go up sizes at least 3 times now. I can't wear any heeled shoes. They add to my back, knee, and hip issues. I had to see a chiropractor so many times. I went from running up the hills when I was slim to not being able to walk on a treadmill without struggle. It's a big mental change, not just physical. Even now, being overweight is a shock to me. I'm aware of my weight issues and I'm working on it 2 to 3 times the gym or spin class, etc. The more weight I put on, the less I can do physically. Being out of breath over a walk is hurtful and embarrassing. After a good session at the gym, I'm ill for at least 3 to 4 days. My muscles ache, not the good kind of ache where you know your muscles worked out, that horrible drained fatigue ache. My mood goes, I lose all the will and interest, and then I pick myself up and do it again, and it's a mental battle each time. On the other side of this problem is dealing how people react to me now. Close family, mainly my mother, are full of ideas and suggestions. Many times I've had to stop her from giving advice. I can't go for a run, join dance class, and lose all of this weight. Keeping in mind, I find walking on a treadmill a challenge. I can't go on yet another fad diet she suggests and see if that works. My fiance is supportive and sometimes too supportive. He's got the body type models we'll be jealous of. Metabolism for days. So eating with him is a struggle. He can pile on chocolates, cream cakes, etc. I refuse as much as I can, but then I have this mindset of, well, I'm not losing weight. It's my health that I can't do anything about mentality, and it sucks as I feel guilty as hell. I tell myself off and feel angry with myself. His mother loved me when I was thinner. She used to comment how her daughter is fat, and she loves that I'm not. Now she makes many comments with disdain. We don't see her often. Then there are coworkers quietly talking about me. In the time I joined the company, probably 1 year now, I gained about 5 to 6 kilos, be about 10 pounds. They even said something like, "You're not a stranger to food." I never thought I'd be ashamed like that. I'd be shamed like that. I'm not used to this. I used to eat lunch with them. After comments like that, and if my food doesn't consist of salad, I no longer eat in a group. As if fat people are now only allowed to eat with others if there's grass on the plate, to avoid proving their theory wrong about how I got fat. I feel alone in this. Those close to me are used to me being slim. I'm used to me being slim. I want to wear my old clothes, my heels, be normal again, get married, be a beautiful bride, and have a child or a few. Here's the kicker. I used to think I was fat at 65 kilos. High school really engraved that into me. I developed quicker and was tallest in my year. Then I got older and I was sexy. I was happy, cheeky, had tons of friends, danced the night away in the hottest clubs, flirted away. My boyfriends found me sexy. Women complimented me. I was me. That was me. Not this person now. I don't recognize her. I would like to use this opportunity to also get some help and advice with food. I see many exercise personalities have their 5 lunch boxes ready for the week and everything is planned out. Firstly, money is an issue and I can't always buy 5 to 6 proteins worth for a meal and fancy vegetables. Secondly, I'm very bad at creating combinations and even worse at choosing snacks. I end up trying either weird combinations or not have enough and starve. When I'm starving, I end up eating anything available. In the evenings after a 1-hour commute from work, the last thing I like to do is cook. We end up eating stuff that's not healthy. I've spoken to my doctor. She can't help me more than getting me to take my hormone meds. Exercise is also helpful, and I do the good old treadmill and the cross trainer. Personal training isn't something I can afford at the moment. I have started HIIT exercise, high intensity, what is that? High intensity IT. Interval training. Thank you. Home video, but I'm nowhere near the fitness levels of the video. I have improved from the first session to now session 4. I no longer feel like I'm going to pass out, though I'm very close. And this is from anonymous female, which we call Katie Derry. Okay.
There is a lot in there.
There is a lot in here. Let's start where you want to start, Nicole. Go.
So I just have to say, I mean, Jules, of course, sent this to me ahead of time, and one of the reasons I wanted to be on the show was because there's so much going on in this email, and a lot of it, like, it's really heartbreaking, it's frustrating, and I think a lot of us can feel for her and probably have been in those situations before. We've experienced something similar. I have to start by saying I'm not a doctor, of course, and she does have an illness, and she has been on and off medications that are affecting her hormones. So just to preface this whole conversation, your hormones heavily affect weight gain and weight loss. So anytime you're messing with those, it's going to be hard on. Oh, Coach Shub is here.
Hi, Katie.
See, he's here for the actual coaching, right?
That's awesome.
You're in good company. We're both pet people.
Great timing, too. All right. So that being said, also the other thing with hormones is that they can take a long time, months, sometimes more, to level out and to get back to normal levels.
Yeah.
So the fact that she went back to address this previous illness, and then they put her on different medication, and now she's trying to address hormonal issues. That in itself, if we were working with her one-on-one as a client, like, there's a whole lot of other stuff we would be addressing and having to go over, also depending on how much time has passed between how long she's been on the medications and with where she's at now. So just to preface that, there's a lot more going on to that situation that for her is going to be very specific.
Yeah.
But let's see.
I think for people who, I think that there's a very general kind of thread to that whole thing, which is you go to younger years being slim and not having to worry about your weight, and then it all turns around as you age.
Yes.
And how you, and so just the mental strain that puts on you, like how you see yourself.
Yeah, I think that's really good. So, of course, you read a slightly abbreviated version of the letter, but reading the way that she phrased things about how she felt about herself before in high school. Of course, high school, those formative years, you're very impressionable, society, movies, all of it, especially for women, a little bit more so than men, you're very aware of your appearance. And I'm very, I totally know this. I come from like I said, I was a dancer. I was in a ballet company. I've worked in the film industry. My mother was a makeup artist. I worked in the fitness industry. So all those are very critical of your appearance. So yes. I really understand, the outside pressure. But something I wanted to address with her, because she's also talking about the bullying or the comments that she's getting from people around her.
Yes.
Is that she's actually harder on herself than they are. Mm-hmm. So the way she talks about her body now is the real bully. So she's being harder on her own body, this distancing of, this isn't me, this isn't my body, I used to be able to do this, like this not wanting to accept her body for what it is. And if you want to change your body, you have to accept where you are, and you have to love it, and you have to nurture it. Otherwise, how are you going to be able to work with it to change it?
Right.
So I think the first thing is of course, the outside world, everyone's critical. I mean, Tim and I, we stream on Twitch, Twitch chat. We have a very supportive, amazing Twitch community and fantastic mods. But, if we're on the front page of Twitch or on the Blizzard launcher, we're going to get trolls. It doesn't matter if, we can be too skinny, too fat, not bulky enough, not doing this right. It doesn't matter. Even us, we're going to get criticized.
Yep, and they do. I've seen it.
Yeah, you've seen it, and it's like, it doesn't matter how beautiful, how perfect you are, someone's gonna be critiquing you. But a lot of times, what's harder is the voice inside of you. You are your hardest critic. You're harder on yourself than anybody else is. And that's something that is really the first hurdle with any change that you want to make in your life, particularly with health and fitness, is it's really all comes down to mindset and how you think about yourself, how you talk to and about yourself. That's the phrasing that you use. It all plays into the actions that you take or don't take.
Yes.
Like, I am this type of person, or this isn't me. It's all, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. And so, the first hurdle is really taking a hard look at, well, wait, are they really whispering about me? Are they really being critical about me? Or is some of that maybe me putting that out there?
Right.
Is that my perception of the situation? Maybe they are. Maybe they have made a comment. But usually, almost always, people are not out. They're not, like, not everyone's all whispering about you, like, oh my God, look at her, she's so fat. Oh my God, she put on weight. It's like, no, they're thinking about themselves.
Yeah.
And if somebody does, say something mean or hurtful, a lot of times it's a reflection on them. They are self-conscious about something. They have their own issues with self-esteem or whatever it is that they are struggling with. And so I think the first step for anybody is you got to look at the language that you use and kind of the mindset that you're in. And the first step is accepting your body with where it's at now.
Yes.
And Jules, you talked about this too. Like, if you put on 70 pounds, you cannot do what you did when you were 70 pounds lighter. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, don't try to go back. We talked about this a little bit, where a lot of times people say they've been out of shape for a couple years, but they remember what they could do in college or in high school. They remember, hey, they were on this sports team, or they were lifting, or whatever it was that they were doing. They remember what they could do. And so their first action is to go back and do exactly what they could do before. Yes. Even though not only are you older, but you also haven't been active for years sometimes.
Right.
And that is only going to set you up to fail, to get injured, to not feel good. So it's like you have to start with where you're at.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, and I can speak to that because I was always a little overweight, but then in college I discovered the beautiful game Dance Dance Revolution. And I played that. I ended up working at both arcades in my college town because I was just there that often. Mm-hmm. It was my WoW addiction before WoW, and I played that thing. I lost 50 pounds, and I was feeling good. I was looking good. I was at the height of my, just like confidence and everything. Mm-hmm. And I play every once in a while now, and I still try to do, because I was at competition level. I would do tournaments in different states. Yeah, and I'd still get up there and I'd still do those same song, same difficulty. And I was like, well, I can't do 4 hours straight of that anymore. I do about 10 minutes and then I have to go sit down. And then I can't do it, or I get this weird, I get migraines with aura if I overexert myself, so I go blind in my left eye for a little while. And then I get the huge headache. So I can feel it almost coming on, and it's been a lot more with these times that I just up and just, I was like, oh, I haven't really worked out in like months, but here, let me get on this dance pad and hop around for a couple of minutes at a time at like really fast cardio speeds. And so I could definitely agree with you there with, you're not as young or as fit as you used to be, so you really shouldn't, maybe you should start on the lighter setting of the songs first, ease into it.
Exactly, ease into it. It doesn't mean you can't get back to where you were. Mm-hmm. You totally can. It's so possible.
Yes.
You just don't want to start there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're talking about this with habits too, is got to build upon the habits. Mm-hmm. Start slowly, small wins. That's always going to be more successful. And you have to look at the long game. If you put on 70 pounds or if you've been out of shape for years, you're not going to get back into shape overnight. Not in a week. Not really in 3 months. It's probably going to take 6 months, a year. For some people, it's going to take a couple years to really get where you want to go. But if you take the longer path, the percentage, like the chance that you will stick with it and keep it off is so much higher. A lot of times there's a correlation between the longer it takes for you to achieve your goal, the more likely you are to stay there, versus if you had really quick fat loss or really quick gains, you're going to be more likely to drop them in a short amount of time.
Yeah. And, speaking from my own experience, Nicole and Tim had me, so wanted to try to see if I could do a push-up. And I was like, no, that is not something that I have ever been able to do. I have very, very bad upper body strength. And so my initial feeling was fail. Like in my head, it goes fail. And so instead of it being fail, what they did is they have me I am literally just doing like a shift into a knee push-up position, and I'm not even doing the push-up, and I'm repeating that motion, and I've been doing it for about 4 weeks now, and all of a sudden I can really notice that there's strength building. But in the beginning, it was like my brain automatically went to the word failure. And so they're changing my perception of the fact that where you start is not a failure. And I think that's a lot of times what happens with someone who starts a workout program, is that you see everybody else who can just endure that tremendous amount of workout, and you're like, I freaking suck.
Yeah. Well, even like oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just gonna say it's like being brand new to a video game, and you walk by a mythic raider. You're like, oh man, I really want to do that. Well, I can't.
Well,
like,
yeah,
I can't
you
do that.
have to work
I can't
to
do it right now. So if I can't do it right now, what's the whole point? Why am I even here? Well, no, if you really want it, you've got to build up and get to that point. So it's kind of, I know I keep relating it back to gaming, but hello, we're a gaming podcast too. So I tend to do that.
That's what we do too.
So, it's, if you think about it that way, and some people kind of, they compare their workouts to gaming, like, kind of like unlocking achievements, like, oh, I worked out all 5 days this week, achievement unlocked, keep your score. That at one point I wanted to lose 60 pounds, and I was like, I'll treat it like leveling up. For every pound I lose, I level up, and I went hit level 60, just like in Vanilla WoW. Of course, that didn't happen, but we always try until it works.
Exactly. And I think the thing with failing, and a lot of times this also happens with the scale. So people, especially if it's a weight loss goal, of course, we also work with people who have trouble putting on weight, who want to bulk, but we're going to focus on weight loss right now.
I've got some weight they can have. They want weight. I've got plenty.
They can take it.
Take all you need.
With weight loss, people get over fixated on the scale going down. And so what will happen is, if the scale doesn't move 1 week, they get really afraid, and they're like, oh my God, it's not going down. I'm not succeeding. I'm failing. Like, I'm going to put this weight back on. When really, like, you might plateau for a while. You might even gain weight and then go down. So it's like, you always have to look at like the longer term, or for the weight loss, without fixating on, day to day, week to week. Because as we always say, like, it's never a failure. It's just a test. We're learning. It's like, okay, well, is this not working? Oh, well, let's fix this. Maybe we need to adjust something. Like, obviously, we're trainers, and in this case, we're working one-on-one with Jules, so we're monitoring everything she's doing very closely. So we can see, like, okay, well, how is she progressing in all of these different areas and all these different stats that we're tracking? And then we can know if, like, no, she's right on track, even if she might feel like, oh, this is like, I'm not progressing fast enough, but we know that it's going to add up, and maybe she'll suddenly have a huge, because a lot of times what will happen with the body is you might plateau, or it might take you a while to transform, to get stronger, to drop 10 pounds, and then suddenly it'll happen. It almost seems like it's overnight.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like you have to push through those hard moments where it doesn't feel like you're getting anywhere, or like you're not succeeding, and that's what it feels like. But as long as you can push through that and continue on, that is usually exactly when you'll start to notice the big changes.
And it happened to me immediately as I started working with Nicole and Tim. I didn't do anything differently, and I gained 5 pounds in a week. And I was like, I was freaking out, but I didn't say anything to them. And Nicole just knew. She just knew because she saw the stats on the scale. And she's like, and she sent me this beautiful email, and she just said, I know that you're probably stressed out about this, but you have to make sure that you don't let it get to you. And she knew exactly where it was because it was, and so I have to remember that it is a journey. It is a long-term, and it is changing all of these habits over time, but it's not easy. And so many of us fall before we get back up again and keep going.
Well, and I think exactly saying that, when it does get hard, because it does, no matter what goal you're trying to achieve, whether you're trying to beat a game, you're trying to level up past a hard boss, whether it's a business goal and you're working on a project at work, or you're trying to lose weight, there's always going to be a point where you struggle. So it's who is around you to support you through that challenging period.
Yes.
Obviously, with us, we have our community, or if we're working with our clients, we're there for them. We are your support. Reach out to us. We're here for you. So, also for the listener who wrote in, she's, and this is so common. She started to isolate herself.
Yes.
Because she feels like people are judging her, that because she's fat, she can't go out and hang out with friends, or she can't do this, she can't do this. So, it's that cycle that will continue to spiral, where you put on more weight, you distance yourself more, and it just keeps happening and getting more and more and worse and worse. And you only become more alone and more unhappy and bigger. So that's kind of a mental hurdle too, but finding people who are there to support you. And if it's your family, if it's in her case, it's her fiance, working with them to be like, hey, I need to not have this stuff in the house, because if it's in the house, if you're eating it, I'm going to eat it too. Can you eat that when you're at work? Or, you know what I mean? You have to have people there, even if it's just one person, to share those moments that you're struggling, or to cheer you on when you're succeeding. Having one person, and knowing that a lot of times that's not going to be your family.
Yeah.
Particularly parents or other people or siblings, they're the hardest people to either help get them to change themselves or to support you, because they have their ideas of what's going to work, and you just have to be like, thank you so much that you care so much that you want to help me. You just have to look at it from that, they just want to help you, and all you can do is say thank you. If you are working with somebody, I've got a plan, I'm working on this, I really appreciate that you care enough to share that with me. And that's all you can do, because there's no point getting into an argument. You can let them know that you're working on it yourself. But ultimately, you have to find your support group, because going it alone, usually, some people can do it, and some people can hold themselves accountable, and they're just rock stars. They don't need any support or accountability, but most people do.
Yeah, I knew I needed it. I knew that I needed, and for my accountability, every workout that I do, Nicole and Tim see it. They know that I've done it. All of the nutrition lessons that I'm doing, they see it. They know that I'm doing it because I'm checking it off, going through it. And I would say, and Nicole, tell me if you think this is correct, but I think that accountability buddy maybe shouldn't be her fiance or shouldn't be her mother. It might be somebody outside of her immediate circle.
Yeah, that would be best. That would be my preference, would be that it should be somebody not close to her at all. Or maybe a friend, but somebody who's not in that immediate area where it's already been an issue. If he was already making comments, or he eats a certain way, or the mom's making comments, you need to get outside of that. Have somebody who's kind of fresh eyes, fresh ears, is just there to support you.
Yep.
And sometimes, maybe you have a friend in real life who can do that, but a lot of times, these days, so many of us have friends online on these communities. So, whether it's in a WoW guild or on a Twitch community. So for us, in our Discord, we really encourage people to be active and to share their journey and share their questions and where they're at, so that there can be someone else to support them. Whether it's a big community or whether it's just one person. I think that's one of the most powerful things that you can do, is kind of tell them, this is my goal, this is what I want to do, this is what I'm working on, can you help me? Can you be there for me? Even if it's just to listen.
Yeah. And
Absolutely,
the
yeah.
Convert to Raid Discord has we have a weight loss challenge that we are doing, and then it's run by one of our community members, and they just, people like share their ideas about recipes and exercises, and then the coordinator keeps track of how much the group has lost privately as a cumulative group. There's hundreds of those groups out there, in different platforms and that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
I feel like she needs somebody that is outside of her, and I would say for our listener, like, go to the Heroes of Fitness Discord. Like, seriously, those guys are the nicest people you have ever met. And they are all in that same realm of, like, either being a gamer and someone who is struggling with weight, or they've been there, they've gotten to that point and conquered it.
Well, and I think that's the other thing too. But the thing about having a bigger community of people is that there's people at all different stages and all different situations. So we'll have men, women, younger, older, people who are trying to gain weight, people who are trying to lose weight, people who have already lost a significant amount of weight but are now hitting another challenge of, like, I'm kind of plateauing, or where do I go from here? Or you have people who are just getting started. And then what helps all of them is they each share their experiences. And so people who are just getting started hear someone else who went through that too, just, maybe they just lost 10 pounds over, like, the course of a month or two. And so it inspires them, it motivates them, because they're seeing all these other people in the community sharing what they've been doing. It's like, okay, if they can do it, I can do it. I'll try this. Maybe I'll ask some questions. It doesn't have to be our community. There's so many communities out there, of course.
Yeah.
But I can't stress enough the importance of having people to support you, because, even just having somebody to hold you accountable. Like, did you do your workout today?
Yes.
Even having someone who could just ask you, just checks in like once a week. A friend who's like, hey, how is your training going? Or how is the eating going? Just something as simple as that. Just checking in with you.
Yeah.
Can make a huge difference.
That friend who does that for you, and they just, tell them to put it on their calendar to send you a text and say, how's it going? Vent to me if you need to, but it's huge. It really is. And I wanted to transition to the questions that she had about food and meal planning, because you have a lot of experience with this.
Yeah. I read what she wrote, and I kind of laughed, because it's so easy to see what all these people in the fitness industry, and of course, again, like we talked about earlier, like, there's so much out there. So many different, like, do I eat like this? Do I not eat this? I'm only supposed to eat this. Like, this is bad. This is good. This is a superfood. This is going to kill you. It's like every week it changes. Every day it changes. It's always the joke in the fitness industry. So you just get used to it. But then, seeing people like, oh, I have to eat out of Tupperwares. I can only have chicken, spinach, and rice. Like, that's all I can eat. It can be very overwhelming and very confusing. And of course, what we believe is you don't have to give up everything that you love, and you shouldn't, because if you try to give up everything that you love, whether you love pizza, you love ice cream, you love beers, like whatever it is that you really love, if you're giving that up, all you're going to do is crave it and fixate on it.
Cheetos.
Which is not good, because you don't want to create an eating disorder. I've known so many people who have had eating disorders over the years. And that is not the path that you want to go down to. And the more restrictive you get, the more likely you are to get into that territory.
Okay.
By becoming overly obsessed with food and overly fixated on what you can't have. And then what will happen sometimes is you binge. So maybe you do eat really clean, and then you just binge and feel horrible. And so we always say, like, what are the things that you really love that you don't want to give up? Mm-hmm. And what are the things that you're okay with giving up? Like, say you love bread, but you don't really need to drink alcohol, or you're not a big sweets person. So it's like, okay, well, say you're out to dinner, and maybe you're going to have a steak and some vegetables, and you're like, I really want potatoes with this meal. I just want potatoes. So it's like, okay, have the potatoes. Don't have the dessert, or don't have the wine. Like, if you're going to have potatoes and wine, then don't have dessert, or have the wine and dessert and no potato, something like that. So it's like a trade-off. So that's usually an an easy place to start. And I think that's the other thing too, is for her and for anybody listening, is starting small. Mm-hmm. Starting with what you can manage. You don't have to immediately have 5 days worth of like 3 meals planned for each day. You have your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and it's all in Tupperwares and all organized and all planned out, because that's a lot. That's overwhelming. We always say just start with one thing, like grab some veggies, grab a big bag of spinach, keep it in the fridge.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Toss that into a smoothie, toss that into a salad, grab some of it by the handful and eat it. Put in eggs, like whatever, just one veggie, and try to have that at least at 1 meal a day.
Right.
Or try to have like 1 salad at lunch, and that's the only thing we want you to change. So we would start small. We would start with like, don't try to change all of your meals. Pick 1 meal that you want to improve, or pick one aspect of each meal throughout the day.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because you're more likely to do that, and of course, you're going to start to snowball. As you start to make one healthy choice and start making better choices, you're going to start to feel better. And then you're going to start to make more choices, and it will start to build upon itself. So it's like there's no need to go totally restrictive and go super hard, super fast, because you're just not going to be happy.
No.
And it's going to suck. Like, let's be honest. It's not fun.
Yeah, and so it feels like there's a there's either the right way of eating or like the completely wrong way that everybody kind of puts in their head. Either I'm eating all fast food and takeout, or I'm eating super healthy, like clean eating, that kind of thing. It's like one extreme or the other.
Exactly.
Nicole and Tim on Fridays have pizza streams where they're eating pizza on stream a lot of times. And,
pizza, or maybe having some bubbles, or be like, we're real people.
And, and it's like, and people kind of go, you guys eat like real people? It's just like, but you're so fit.
Yes.
You're so thin, and, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, this seems to be this foreign concept. Yeah. For a lot of folks, whether it's either one or the other. And, so when they started with me, they said, I want you to integrate vegetables into at least 1 meal every day, and try for 2. It's like, it's like, and I've been able to do that, at least 1. And so I'm working on that every day to do that. And again, it's like, and I was mentally prepared when I sat down in front of them that they were going to be like, okay, here's the list of food that you can go buy at the grocery store, and you can't have any of this stuff, and you can't have any of this stuff. And I walked out and I was like, this is amazing. Like, I still know that I have a lot of things to change, but it's not going to be something that has to be immediately like, clean out your pantry, get rid of all the sugar. And that is the mentality that a lot of people work with, I would say, right?
Yeah. And I mean, for some people, there's totally some people where they need to go a little bit more strict, because like they just cannot have temptation in the house, and that's just where they have to start, and that's cool.
Yeah.
Like, we will work with the client. Like, everybody's different. We have had some clients where like they want to eat really strict and they can do that, and so we're like, okay, like if you can do that, then we'll work with you. But most people, it's just really hard. And it's hard to give up and to change eating patterns that have been ingrained in you for decades, since you were a child. A lot of times it's a family tradition, or like it's so deeply rooted in your identity or in your routines, your traditions with your family. Like, that's why changing food can be a really big deal and really challenging, because there's so much more associated to it.
Yes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The Clean Plate Club, which is a lot of us who have grown up with that.
Yeah.
You need to eat all of your dinner because there's starving people in China.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that mentality that we were all given. Like, if you take it, you eat it. And if, I can tell you all of these things that have been ingrained in my head since I was a kid. And the chat room's like, Clean Plate Club, unite, because we know.
Yeah.
And then
Gotta make a happy plate.
and make your plate happy. And if you don't eat all your dinner, you can't have any dessert, which is like the most broken concept in the world.
Right.
You know, let's eat more food so you can eat more food.
Right.
So there's all of that mindset, and I know that I have it. Mark Conan was nodding his head. You know, it's just like the mindset changes, and they're deep. They go deep. And let's talk about it from a perspective of someone who's never had to worry, though, about the amount of food that they've been putting into their body all their life, and then it changes.
Right. Someone who's had a high. I think what I found so interesting about this listener email was I resonated with this too, because she was saying how this wasn't me. Like, I was always skinny. I was always like, you know, of course, you know, she thought she was fat then.
Yeah.
The typical like, oh, I'm not skinny enough. Which, you know, most of us have all been there. I'm not where I want to be, but the like, this isn't me. Like, how can this happen? Like, I always had a fast metabolism. I could eat whatever I wanted. I was a little bit like that. So, of course, like I said, I grew up dancing and doing martial arts. I was incredibly active, very fast metabolism. I was doing stuff all the time. You know, I used to like brag, like, I can eat more than the boys, or I'd get mad at my dancer friends. I'm like, why aren't you eating your food? Like, because my parents raised me very well with having a healthy mindset towards food and eating and being active. So, you know, I was very much about like, you know, I eat a lot. I'm proud of that fact.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't want to be the skinny dancer who, you know, didn't eat and was anorexic or bulimic or what, you know, whatever those associations were.
Right.
Not that I ever got that, but a lot of my friends got that. And some of them, unfortunately, were. But I got to college, and even after college, well, actually, college, I was still dancing. But, like, I'd say end of college, after college, I put on a little bit of weight because I wasn't in a dance company anymore. I was sitting at a desk job for 8 hours a day and then come home and watch shows or be eating and drinking the same way that I was, but not doing hours and hours of activity. Plus, getting older and being a woman and, you know, your hormones are changing. And again, like I said earlier, that can significantly affect your weight gain and weight loss.
Right.
So I've been there too. I went through a phase where I put on 15, 20 pounds, and being like, okay, wait, I work in the fitness industry. Maybe I should probably, you know, do what I know I should do. And so, you know, it's kind of a wake-up call. But I mean, for me, it was like, okay, I know what to do. I can do this. And for me, it was just not being hard on myself and just doing what I knew I needed to do.
Yeah.
But I think, again, it comes back to the identity of this isn't me. Like, I always ate this way. I can eat this. Why is my body not doing what it did before?
Yep.
And it's just one of those things where you have to look in the mirror, accept where you're at, accept where your body's at, because your body's not your enemy. Your body is everything that you have in this world.
Yes.
And so looking at it that way, like, okay, how am I doing good things to this vessel that carries me throughout life, that does the things that I want to do? It's all because my body is healthy. I'm, you know, obviously the healthier you are, the better chances you have of living longer and doing the things that you enjoy doing.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got a little distracted.
No, that's okay. I mean, you're talking, what you said was so perfect, is like, you know, your body is not the enemy. But so many of us, myself included, have...
And me.
Yeah, like, you hate your body. You say, why are you doing this to me? Why are you not cooperating with me? You know, and then our listener email talking about, you know, I ache, I can't wear heels, I you know, I'm chafing, I'm sweating, I'm, you know, these things,
frustration.
that horrible feeling of embarrassment. And, you know, I mean, I think there's all kinds of things that you kind of go there: embarrassment, remorse for not thinking that you, shame, you know, feeling like you're incapable of change, like that powerlessness that happens when you are gaining weight in a hormonal sense, like when you can't. So it's like that feeling of what can you do to control this situation. If you feel like you are in control of it, then it is so much easier.
Yeah, well, I think, like you said, the control part of it, when really, so in this life, we were talking about with other people's comments and the way other people see us and how they react to us, but we can never control what other people say, what other people do, their reaction to us, but we can always control our own reaction.
Yep.
And our own actions in life. And that means, like, we can control what we put in our mouths. We can control what activity we do. You know, so many people say, and again, you know, there are challenges, there are obstacles. One of my favorite books, though, by Ryan Holiday is called The Obstacle is the Way. So it's actually like those obstacles in front of you are what you have to go through to get what you want. Like, they're part of the process and you have to overcome them.
Yep.
And not looking at them as like, oh, this is immovable. It's like, no, this is part of it. You go around, you find a way to get creative. So with the shame that often comes with that guilt of like, why did this happen? How did this happen?
Yep.
This shouldn't be the case. You have the control over your actions. You may not be able to control, like, say you're at a big function, at a feast, or you live with your parents, or you live with roommates, people who are surrounding you with maybe not so great choices all the time. But you can choose to eat a little bit less. Maybe you don't eat as much as you usually would.
Yeah.
So maybe you got takeout, have even a third, you know, like even like just a little bit less, put a little less on your plate.
Yep.
That's a start. That's
Yes.
taking control and doing something.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you sit all day at work. Maybe you drive a lot for work.
Yep.
It's like finding those breaks. Everyone says, like, oh, I'm so busy. I don't have time for this. I don't have time to work out. I don't have time to eat healthy. It's like, no, there's time. There is always time. You have to make time. You have to make it a priority.
Yep.
So if it's not a priority, you're not going to do it. The busiest people, the most successful people, they make time for what matters.
Right. That is
And
the right there. You make
Yeah.
time for what matters. And, you know, let's face it, a lot of us hate exercise, you know?
Yeah.
You know, it's not fun and no one likes to sweat when it's really hot out and, you know, but it comes with the benefits that come out of it if it becomes important in that way. You know,
well, also, can I just add really quick?
yeah.
So exercise, a lot of people do say that. They say, it's not fun. I hate working out. I hate exercising. They have bad memories of running. They hate running, or they hated gym class, or whatever it was. But there's so many different types of activities that you can do to get the body moving, whether it's like Just Dance, which we like to do on stream, or DDR, or going for a walk, swimming, like taking a yoga class, taking a martial arts class, whatever you actually enjoy. Finding an activity that you truly enjoy means you're probably going to do it.
Right.
If it's something you hate, if it's running, don't do that. Do something else. You don't have to run. You don't have to lift weight. Like, there's so many options. What comes down to is, what are you actually going to do?
Right.
Yep.
That's the best workout to do, is what you're actually going to do.
Yeah.
On a
Yeah.
consistent basis.
And I've seen workouts where, you know, all it is walking in place with some, you know, side to side, front and back movements of, there's a woman who does videos on that, you know, I mean, there's so many things out there, which I think is the exercise fatigue thing too. A lot of times, like, there's like, you know,
Yeah, there's so many.
the high intensity interval training, you know, the insanity stuff, all of those, the CrossFit people, and you know, it's just, there's so much out there. What do you choose? How do you start?
Too many choices.
Yeah, again, we're going back to there's too many things to do. What is the best thing to do? And that's what people always look for, because they see so much, so they think, well, there must be one that is better than all of them.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, there are always good places to start. Like, Tim and I cannot recommend walking enough. Like, walking is so beneficial in so many reasons, just especially if you're going outside and kind of being out in nature. So, like, just walk. If that's all you can do, just walk for 10, 20, 30 minutes a day, a couple times a week if necessary. Just get up from your chair. You've died in the game. Get up and do a stretch. or do some exercise that you know you can do.
Yeah, or just walk down the street to like the neighbor's house and come right back.
Yeah.
Or if you have a dog, go walk your dog for 10 minutes. Or fire up Pokemon Go and like, okay, well, I'm going to walk until I catch 3 Pokemon, then walk back. Or
Exactly.
It can be anything.
Yep. And then if you start doing that and start doing that consistently, that's where you start to see the gains.
Yes. There's a couple things in her email that I think we should address in there. And number one is when she's talking about her mother, she says, I can't go for a run, join a dance class, and lose all this weight. Keeping in mind, I find walking on the treadmill a challenge. I can't go on yet another fad diet she suggests and see if that works. And so all I heard in those sentences was, I can't.
Yeah.
But what was the thing that she said that she could do? Treadmill.
Right.
But at the same time, she's beating herself up over the fact that she can only go for a short amount of time. But that's okay. You could be sitting on your butt instead of doing that short amount of time on the treadmill that you can handle right now. That's better than being sedentary.
Yeah.
It's something.
Exactly. It's something. Like, something is so much better than nothing.
Right.
And I think she needs to not be as hard on herself as she's being. She's clearly, and I mean, Jules, you and I have talked about this a lot. Like, we're both A types. We're like, super perfectionists, like, want to be doing the best. So, like, we're our hardest critics.
Yes.
So I totally understand where she's coming from. And I gather that I think she might be a little bit like that. Which, hey, like, that's awesome. You hold yourselves to high standards. But you have to give yourself a little bit of credit. Like, you are doing the treadmill. You're doing something. That's not nothing. That's something. And if you have somebody who's asking you what you're doing, you just tell them, you don't have to go into detail if you know that they're going to just be annoying about it. Just keep it short. But she's doing a little bit of treadmill.
Yep.
She just needs to keep that up and slowly progress so that she doesn't feel like she's overdoing it and feeling bad or fatigued. And then, I mean, for her, I would say doing a little bit of treadmill like that every single day would be fantastic. And then slowly starting to up the time, maybe a minute, and seeing how she's feeling. But she's doing HIIT exercises. I mean, high interval training. Tim and I love doing intervals. I think it's fantastic. You can get a really good workout in a really short amount of time. And with her, it's like, as long as she's starting, slow, not where she remembers where she was at, but like, you don't have to do what they're doing on the screen, what the actual athletes are doing on the workout video. Just do what you can do and progress from there slowly. But she's already doing something, which is what's awesome. And I think she just needs to give herself more credit. And this is what I wanted to bring up. She needs to be patient. I don't know, and I should have asked you to ask her what this time period is, but I have a sneaking feeling that not a lot of time has passed since she has maybe switched medications and she's kind of been trying to lose weight. She said it took her 4 or 5 years to put on 70 pounds. Does she think that she's going to lose that all in a month, a couple months, 6 months, a year? Like, it's going to take longer, and you have to be patient with your body.
Yes. Because
if you're not patient with it, you're going to give up too soon, and then you're going to stay where you are. As long as you're patient with your strength goals, with your conditioning, with your food, with everything, it'll come.
Yes. And that is the number one thing that I have had to retrain my brain is patience. Because there's that nagging voice in the back of my head that will say to me, you're not doing enough. You're not pushing hard enough. You're not progressing fast enough. You're not, but as soon as I've, kind of said, okay, shush, go away now. Don't be bugging me anymore about that. I'm doing what I need to be doing. I have realized that things are changing and I'm not even noticing them right away, know? And then I have to realize, so when Nicole talked about interval training, they have me doing an interval training thing on Wednesdays, and they only had me doing 1 round of it. And the first couple times I was like, I'm dead, I can't do this. And then I got to about the second or third time, and I'm like, I could do a second round of this. And so I did. And it didn't kill me. And so, and I was just, but you have to listen to your body. You have to listen to what it is that your body is telling you. And you have to shut your brain up to say you're not doing enough. Because I think that is the mental the mental strain that you have when you're trying to lose weight, when you're trying to make lifestyle changes, is this constant hammer of you are not doing enough.
Yeah, it's not enough. Or people, when people think like, well, this wasn't a super intense workout. I didn't sweat a whole lot, so it must not be good enough. Like I must not have burned off all the calories. I need to do more. And it's like, well, actually, recovery is just as important. So getting good sleep, we talk about this too. You need to get enough sleep. You need to let your body recover. Overtraining is real. Like people, you can actually get to the point where people will start training more and it's having a negative impact. And if they actually went down to 3 workouts a week, the results would kick back in, because sometimes you can actually overtrain the body and the body doesn't have time to recover.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing, but a lot of it goes back to I remember where I was, I remember what I could do, and this is where I am now. But I always have to laugh, because I remember when I was dancing, we would always have, there'd be periods where you're performing a lot and then you'd have a break. So maybe sometimes it'd only be like a 2-week break. Maybe it was a month. Coming back, it was only 2 weeks. Dancing again, going to a ballet class, afterwards we would all be destroyed and being like, oh my God. It's like, what? Like, we're dancers. We do this like every day for weeks and weeks and years. What am I saying? Since I was 4.
Right.
It's like, no, the body can easily get a little sore, get a little stiff. And then, after a couple times after a week, we're back to normal. But it's like, the body adjusts.
Yes, and that is a great point. It's a great point. You think about, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, go on.
You think about what the expectations are of your own body and then what it can actually do. And it can do some wonderful things. But when you don't give it enough space to actually get to that point, and then you're, then you blame yourself for being lazy, or that it's like this mental battle for her, for this poor girl, and for us, for everybody who's probably listening to this. We've beat each other up in our heads so many times.
We're worse than everybody else we think is judging us.
Yes.
We think people are judging us at the gym. We think our family, coworkers, our friends. It's like, no, usually most of the time people, they don't even know, they're not even aware. Like, of course, if you haven't seen someone for a year and then you put on some weight, they might notice. They're not going to judge you for it. Like,
and if they do, then that's their problem, not yours.
Then they shouldn't be in your life anyway. Like, you need people who are going to pick you up. But life happens to all of us. Like, Tim and I have gone through phases where we've been in really peak physical condition and performance, but then we've gone through periods where we've been really out of shape and we didn't train a lot, or we both maybe put on a little weight, we weren't where we wanted to be, but we had major life stuff happening, like deaths in the families, moving across the country. That happens. That's normal, and that is okay. You are not going to be in your peak condition all year round. Any athlete is not. There's always off periods. You have to let the body kind of rest. You can't go all the time.
Yeah.
And it is totally okay. I think that's the other thing, like allowing, or I don't know if I want to say forgiving, but just saying to yourself, it's okay that I've been overweight or that I put on weight. It's okay. That was a period in my life where it happened. I can't change that. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Now, from going forward, I'm going to change that. But like being hard on the body when it was just trying to get through a tough period in your life, you have to let that go.
Yes.
Yeah. You can't do anything about where you were and where you currently are. You just have to worry about where you're going to go.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that covers about everything that we had on our list of things. Nicole, was there anything in your notes that you wanted to specifically hit on here that we didn't cover?
Let me just look real quick.
Yeah, I know you were taking copious notes, and you were so prepared. I love you.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, there was so much good stuff that she wrote about that we all have been there. Like, in different periods of our life, like it doesn't matter, man or woman, young or old, like we've all been in those situations. So it's just, I feel for her. Like when I was reading that, it was just like, oh, like I just well, I wanted to hug her, but
Yes.
like, let me give you a hug. Like, it's okay. I mean, hopefully she got something from what we were talking about. But
yeah, I think that
most of it. I mean, there's so much. There's a lot more that, of course, as a trainer, as a coach, nutrition, like all that, I could, of course, go much deeper. But then you're getting to a lot of like more personal stuff and more like nitty gritty details that would be, what my job would be.
yes.
Yeah.
But
kind of doing the overhead view.
Yeah, I mean, I think the bottom line in all of this is that you need to be patient. You need to go slow with yourself. And you need to accept the fact that you are where you are right now. Accept your body for who it is, for what it is now. And love it and say, I'm going to make you better than you are now. But I have to be...
seeking help. Right?
Yeah, get some help.
It's okay to seek help. It's okay to reach out to people. Don't push people away. Get that support group, whoever it is.
Exactly.
People are there to help you.
Exactly. And it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen next week, and it's not going to happen next month. You can't lose.
It's a long journey.
And this is the journey now for anybody who has gained weight that didn't have that problem before. That's going to be the rest of your life now. Like, you will always have to work on making sure that you are taking care of yourself now. When you maybe grew up young and not having to worry about what you ate because you were just, your metabolism took care of you. We all do get older and it slows down and age happens.
But, like when you think about like people who are really skinny and you get the people who they didn't have to eat well or they didn't have to exercise because they just had a really fast metabolism, then of course they might have health issues later because they weren't forced to address those issues and create healthy habits because they thought like, oh, I'm skinny, I don't need to worry about it. But so sometimes it can be a blessing. Like sometimes going through those hard moments is when you learn and is when you grow. And then you will carry that with you through the rest of your life. Especially in her case, like she wants to have kids. She wants, a lot of this was in preparation for being healthy enough to have a baby.
Right.
And that is so important. And that should be another motivation for, why she needs to love her body like she would love her future child. Because would she treat her child that way? Would you treat other people the way you treat yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's a big one there.
That is a gigantic one.
The things that you say to yourself, would you say that to anybody else that you care about?
Nope.
Absolutely not.
I struggle with that a lot. So
We've talked
we
about
all
that.
do.
Yeah, we all do.
We've talked about that on the show before, and I think that it is, especially with weight loss and health and fitness, it is probably one of them. We're the cruelest to ourselves that way. Oh, it is really bad.
I think just on that note, health and fitness is so, people think it's just about like, oh, I just need to work out, I just need to exercise, and that's what's going to change. But I think we all know there is such an emotional and like deep personal side to that journey. It's a transformation and you are changing like who you are. And I think you have to accept that there's a psychological part of that and an emotional part. Like that's the biggest part. And the mindset. Like that's usually more of the work that Tim and I do as trainers is actually addressing the whole change of how they see themselves, their self-esteem, their psychology, their mindset around their body, around their food, working out. Like that's really the focus. It's kind of it's not the first thing that people think about, but that's the real game changer.
I think it's the most important. From my own experience, it is the most important thing to be reshaping your mindset, reshaping your personal image, your self-image. One of the things that Nicole and Tim asked me to do in the beginning of this whole process was to take before photos. And they saw it in my face when it was like, oh no.
Nobody wants to do that.
No. And Nicole said that. She said, nobody wants to do this, Jules, but I promise you that you will want these photos when you have made progress and you want to compare where you came from to see the progress. And so, and they just had a question about that on their stream recently. Someone had said that, how do I do this? How do I get past this? And I literally just said, you know, I had a dear friend take the photos for me, and she gave me a huge hug after it was over. And I said, then they go in the pile, like the thing that I'm not looking at right now.
Don't look at them. You don't have to look. You don't have to look at them for a year. You know, it's like, exactly.
Yeah. And it was just this moment where, you know, again, with the whole, you have to accept your body for what it is right now. And that was a very pivotal moment. It was one of those moments where I was just like, well, shit. You know, but it was acceptance. It was acceptance to say, this is where I'm starting. It all begins now. And this is the point where my whole life is going to change.
Yeah. Well, we always say with before and after photos, like again, so many people don't want to take them. I've been there. I've had to take them before, and it sucks because you're like, oh, like you just hate it.
Yes.
And you see the photos, and you're like, is this really what I look like?
Yes.
And I've had to do them where you're like, you know, sports bra and underwear, so it's like you're seeing it all.
Everything.
But the power, it's insane. The power of looking at the after photo compared to the before, that's what's so like staggering and so just powerful. That's all I can say, because a lot of times as the process happens, like you'll start to lose weight, your body will start to change, but you don't really notice it that much until you actually see those two photos from like 6 months apart, a year apart, and that's when you really see the difference and you realize, wow, I did that. Like I made this happen.
Yeah.
And you can just the visual impact of seeing it. Every single person that we have ever worked with or people that we've heard, everyone who did not take before photos, they always regret it. They always say, I wish I had taken them.
Yep.
So they like try to find a photo of them when they were like overweight, but they all say, I wish I had just taken the before photos.
Yes. Yeah. Because it you know, I think for me, and you know, I'm going to say this to our listener too. I think for me, it was that moment of, if I take these photos and I fail, how am I going to accept myself? You know, like if I take these photos, and what happens if I fail? And I, you know, and that was the evil moment in my brain, and it went away as I said, well, you know what? Failure isn't an option anymore. You know, this isn't going to be an option anymore, because, you know, the commitment to do this is there. And I think she has the commitment to do it, but it's this smattering of like noise that's happening to her, that she's like, I'm not doing it fast enough. I'm not doing it right. I'm not doing it, like, I mean, it's not showing anymore right now. And I still feel really bad about myself. And it's just that it's noise.
It is noise.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And that's why we always say, like, particularly with, you know, the photos are so powerful, but those, you know, you only take those, you know, maybe every 3 months, usually like every 6 months, definitely a year. So in between that time, we always say, you know, only weigh yourself once a week, but also do the measurements.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, we were talking about this earlier, that people get overly fixated on just the number of the scale. And actually, this reminds me of something she brought up too, with what she thought was her ideal weight, and what she thought she should be at. What is a healthy weight? Actually, that was something I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I think she said her healthy weight was going to be somewhere around.
It was lower.
It was like 130. Yeah.
Yeah. She said that was what she thought was what the healthy weight should be, but she knew she was kind of gone when she was even a little bit above that. And it's like, there is no healthy weight, and I'm a little bit taller than her. I'm probably about the same weight, but that she was back when she was in high school. The thing is, like, you can't get overly focused on the scale.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people will have this random number, like they'll which is fine, like having a number like to work towards, especially if you have a big weight loss goal, that works. But a lot of times, what you want to look like aesthetically is not the same as the number.
Right.
That number, like what you want to look like aesthetically, is usually a higher weight because of the muscle that you're gaining, the way you look. But people have this fixation, like, I need to be this exact weight.
Yeah, to
but
be
maybe
accepted.
They don't feel good there. They don't feel good and they don't look good.
Yeah.
So the idea of a healthy weight is I mean,
It's misleading.
It's so different for each person.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching an old episode of America's Next Top Model the other day, and there was a plus size model, quote unquote, who was 5'11" and 160 pounds. And they were saying, and she was gorgeous. Like, her body, like, I was looking at her going, if I had that body, I would be like, I would be ecstatic. And there she was embarrassed. She was those are that's the problem, is like when you go by a number, it's just this like, and that is a problem, especially for us when we're, you need to be this size of clothing or this weight in order to be okay, and it's not that.
Yeah.
So true. It's so true. I think that is everything for tonight. We've gone
a lot.
We've gone so long, and I was like, "Holy crap! It's 9:40 already." This interview and discussion has flown by. I told Nicole we'd be like maybe an hour and 15 minutes. Oh, nope. So
nope.
That's only my fault. I've been a little chatty.
Oh, please.
Hey,
you're amazing.
Nothing wrong with that.
There was so much great stuff to talk about. Like, she wrote such a great letter that we wanted to do it justice. So thank you for letting me go into this, because I know when you sent it to me, I was like, oh my God, there's so much to talk about, and I hope it helps her.
I do too, and and I hope that we hear back from her to get some feedback on that too. And we love your feedback as well from the audience. You can send them to questions@taurenThinkTank.com. That's our email address, and we will not be here next week because I will be traveling for work, but you'll have 2 weeks to do that. You also can go to our Discord server, tinyurl.com/TTT chat and talk about it in our discussion channel as well. I think that is probably going to do it for us tonight, right, Mark?
Yeah, I think so. I think we've definitely had a very thorough and awesome show tonight.
Yes, I'm
so happy that you were able to join us, Nicole. I'm very glad that you could join us on this topic, and so thank you so much for coming.
Well, thank you both. I cannot thank you enough for letting me be on the show. I'm honored to be here. So happy to be able to talk about this with you guys, and I hope it helps people who are listening. And of course, if they have more questions, they can always reach out to you guys or to me and Tim. Yes. We're always here to help.
Tell everybody how they can reach you guys on the different platforms that you're at.
Yeah. So again, we're Twitch partners. So twitch.tv/heroesoffitness, and that's kind of, we do streams every week from playing a variety of different games. Along with, we do cooking streams where we talk a lot about meal prepping and nutrition and cooking. So I know if the viewer or the listener had specific questions about that, I would direct her there. And then, of course, our Discord. I think it's discord.gg/heroesoffitness. Twitter, you can find me. I'm at Nicole Du Cane, but you can also find Tim at Heroes of Fitness. And, of course, we have our website, heroesoffitness.com, although we are reworking it right now, so it's going to be changing, but that's where our blogs and other services for if you want to train with us. We do offer that as well.
They do. And if you go out on YouTube and search on Heroes of Fitness, they have lots of instructional videos on different exercises, stretches, all of those wonderful things as well. So please do check them out, and come by their Twitch channel and just say hi, because it is a great community.
And we answer questions all the time from chat. We love doing that. So feel free, all sorts of questions. We get a lot of different types.
Marcone, I'm not going to do our normal out tonight, but we can do our little summary here. You can find me on Twitter at JulesRPG, Marconen at MarconenWow, and the show at Tauren Think Tank. And we can see you guys on Thursdays at 8 o'clock Central, twitch.tv/Tauren Think Tank. And thank you to all of the Heroes of Fitness community members that have been in the chat room tonight. They are awesome.
Absolutely,
they have been supporting Nicole all night long. And again, you can find Nicole on Twitter at Nicole Du Cane. Her last name is spelled Ducane. And her husband, Tim, at Heroes of Fitness. They're both wonderful people. And yeah, I think that'll do it for us tonight. Marconin, have a great week. 2 weeks.
I will. Yes, and I'm heading to St. Louis this weekend for the eclipse.
Oh yes.
So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, I actually get to meet. I'm meeting up with Bim and her husband RJ. So
oh my gosh,
it'll be an awesome. Yeah, it'll be an awesome weekend. Get to take in a little bit of the sights of the city and the sights in the sky. And I just ordered a camera filter for lens. It just came in today, so
awesome.
Hopefully I can take some awesome pictures of it. We will see. No promises, but I may have some cool pictures, maybe.
Oh my gosh,
so we'll
that's
see
amazing.
on that one.
That is so
It'll be
cool.
a good time. I can't wait. It'll be a good time.
And tomorrow is Friday. Nicole, I will be seeing you in Twitch tomorrow, I'm sure, because I have a lot of crafting to do. So I'll be hanging out watching you guys as well. Again, thank you so much for being on the show tonight. For myself, for Marconin, and for Nicole, /moo, everybody.
/moo.
Oh, wrong one.
Tauren Think Tank. We make your problems less bad.
This podcast is a part of the Signals Media All-Star Network. For more information on this and other fine shows, go to signalsmedia.com. It's okay to stick our stuff in your ears. Really?
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 Really? Ah, that was awesome. I'm so sorry how late we were. I was like,
Oh, you don't I'm sorry if I kept going.
Oh no!
it was
you're
all
fine.
super valuable information. I kept looking at the time going, oh my God, I promised her we'd be out in like an hour and 15. That's terrible.
Oh, no. Gosh. It didn't matter for me. I'm more just worried if you wanted your show to be a certain length.
No, because it's
Didn't
always
matter.
it's always good when we have very valuable and, like a good discussion that's going on for that kind of thing. And of course, my watch thinks I said Siri something, so now it's recording everything I just said.
Yes.
We got show titles in there. Okay, we've got Do Dragons Work Out? Where did that come from? There can only be one. Yes, I have orange fingers. No, orange fingers. Are those your real show titles, Dream?
Get a cat. Oh, God. I got a cat.
Oh, that's
I'm
Boots.
kidding.
Aw.
This is the other
Hi,
one.
Boots.
He's,
Squirmy.
yeah.
I kept seeing Shiva's tail going back and forth.
I love how Shiva came right when we got into the listener question. Like, you finished the email, I'm about to start talking, and she was like, I'm here.
I'm here. I'm ready to coach.
Questions.
The cats are the best.
I'm ready for my close-up now.
Oh, boy. He's the real star of our Twitch channel. as
He
everyone knows.
really is, especially when Nicole and Tim work out. He's the cutest thing.
He just, yeah.
I think my what was the okay? I'm trying to remember all the stuff we said. But the one show title that I was thinking of is it Your Body Is Not the Enemy? Is that what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, that one's pretty good.
Your body is not your enemy. I think that one is. The chat room always gathers show titles for us as we go through the night, and we get to pick.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
What do you guys think of that one? Your body is not your enemy.
I like that one.
You like that one? Okay.
Yeah, I'm cool with that one.
Cool. All right, you guys, we're gonna sign off here and say goodnight. And I'm gonna work on getting the show posted and everything like that. And so thanks, chat room, for being amazing as always. Thank you, Hufflings, for being here. It was so great to see you guys. And I'll see you folks on Friday because I'll be hanging out in there too.
Yeah, we're going to be doing Dark Souls and exercising every time we die, so wish us luck.
You're gonna exercise a lot then.
They know that.
Me both.
I've heard Dark Souls is very hard. I've never played it.
Yeah, the funny thing is, so Tim and I take turns, so it's a little easier, but we've also been playing Uncharted, and we have died way more in Uncharted.
Oh, okay.
We're not doing death exercises in that game, but
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Draven, what did you post here? What is that? I'll have to look at that later, you goofer. He's like, Jules, look at
Posted
Discord.
something.
Oh my gosh. All right, you guys, we're going to get out of here. Have a wonderful 2 weeks. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Sorry, I have to miss next week because I have work. But I'll be posting stuff on Twitter for the trip and everything, I'm sure. So we'll see you in 2. Slash boo, everybody.
Slash boo, guys. Have a wonderful weekend.
Bye.
Bye. Say bye, Boots.
Bye, Boots.
The kitty always like pizza.